Guys, understand this. I am not a hater of Marvel. Even when Marvel went through their crappy arc, I stuck around. I stuck around for most of it, right? And I was like, it'll get better. And then, a year went by, it'll get better. 2 years went by, it's gonna get really good. 3 years, 4 years, 5 years went by. What are you doing? And then now we have something like Ironheart, and that's falling in between the Thunderbolts, which was ass, Captain Black American, which was ass, Fantastic Four coming out, which looks like ass, but may not be ass, but we will see if it's Girlball's ass. And I'm left thinking, this has to have some merit to it. There has to be a reason. It can't just be because it was shelved that they're releasing it, right? There has to be a reason. I'll tell you why right now. My fellow Americans, God, do we have to talk about Ironheart? My goodness, welcome to the channel, but oh my god, I gotta tell you guys, Ironheart is the worst show I've ever seen from Marvel. Maybe number one, two, maybe number one ever, worst show from Marvel. However, we have some deep insight to go through about how good the show could have been. No, we're not going to do that. I'm just going to explain why the show sucks. So essentially, you have Riri Williams from Chicago, Chicago, where all the gangs shoot, bow, South Side, haha, Chief Keef, all that, King Von, rest in peace, that's my homie. So she's from Chicago, she goes to MIT, gets skedaddled out of MIT, has to come back to the hood because that is the plight of every black person. Every black person gets kicked out of college if they're too smart. That's not what happens, but essentially that's what the show's trying to say, that's what happens to black people. It's not real. AI is involved. She has a friend who's an AI, and the AI friend is black, and she was like gunned down in the streets of Chicago by a rapper probably. After that, we find out that Riri is not the greatest person. She's driven by money. She meets some people, and Ironheart, it's over. Now look, I'm being a bit of an asshole here, okay? But listen, Ironheart is really not a show you can even discuss. Essentially, what happens in the show is what I described happens. Nothing. You have an AI friend, you have hood rat stuff, you have a white guy, you have an evil dad. Yep, I think that's about Marvel. For me, at this juncture, I believe that Marvel needs to stop making things, take it back to the drawing board a bit, and kind of figure out what direction they want to go in, because Ironheart is not a good show. It's not the great, you know what? As a matter of fact, it's beyond not the greatest show. It's one of the worst shows I've ever seen in my damn life. And that's saying something because I've seen a lot of trash. But Ironheart sits at the top of the heap. Like if the trash heap is this, and there's a build-up, and there's a foundation. Ironheart is just sitting at the top. It may be part of the bottom of the foundation, but it also reaches the top, brother. It's that bad. It's just like a really, really bad show. I can't stand it. But let me explain why it's bad. It's not because it's woke, because it's not too woke. It's not because of the DEI, because it's not too DEI. It's not because of the trans drag Paul character, because that character actually has some funny shit going on, some funny jokes. I didn't mean to stutter. I meant that sincerely. Like, that character's actually pretty good. And then you have a bunch of other characters, and yeah, I was able to see, a couple of episodes that other people didn't get to see, and some things happen, and Mephisto's involved and things like that. But the whole point is, the show is just not written well. The expositions are terrible. It is expositionally disgusting, the way they try to provide exposition in the show. They don't explain why Riri is driven. Like, they try to explain why Riri is driven to be Riri, but it's just like generic slop. Like, she's driven because oppressed and Robin Hood and things and black and college. Not to mention, this is a stark contrast from the actual actress who is a Delta. She pledged Delta. She crossed the line. She is actually a sorority girl who is very well spoken, who is not hood at all. But, in the show, she decided to get some money, just like Riri in the show. That part's true, and she decided to shell out for some money. She just wants her suit, and she wants to change the world. She wants to be iconic for her, not to save the people in the fucking world. She wants to be iconic for Riri, and I guess that's fine. You could be. It's kind of like Asmongold. I like that dude a lot, but he's for himself. You know what I mean? And that's okay. I kind of want to be like that when I get older. I still got time, guys. The problem with that in a TV show is, though, that you need to have your arc, or the save the cat moment, as people say, or you need to have the hero's journey, and there's none of that. It's just simply, I want it and I need it now and my money and blah, blah, blah. Like that annoying commercial that used to come on all the time when you're watching Maury when you stayed home from school. It's like that. She just wants it for her. And listen, I understand society's new focus on being selfish and self-centered, but in this case, it really doesn't work out. Like, at least make it an interesting story about how she's selfish and self-centered and then comes around and realizes that she has to be a hero because being self-centered isn't good for society. But no, we're not getting any of that. It's just gonna be, I will do the worst and the worst that I possibly can in order to get what I want, even siding with the enemy who is destroying the world that I know is destroying the world, or trying to destroy the world at least. So yeah, Ironheart from me gets a super, super high, one of a kind, 1.5 stars out of 10, and it gets a 1.5 because that 0.5 is for Sacha Baron Cohen and the trans drag character. It might just be a drag character. I don't know if they're trans, but the trans drag character, pretty damn cool, pretty funny. That's the way I'd like to see trans characters played, or drag, you know, like gay characters that are also dressed in drag. Like, be yourself, be authentically gay, authentically trans. It's not for everybody, but if they do it the right way and they're just themselves and they're not trying to push a message, you can really get some cool shit out of these people who are just people at the end of the day. It's just a minority of the community tries to make them less of a person, but when they're just allowed to be themselves and be funny and be, you know, who they are, they can kill it in a TV show. Unfortunately, this TV show needs to be buried 6 feet under, never to be discovered again. And hopefully Marvel takes the hint from a lot of people who are going to say a lot of bad things about it. A lot of bad things are going to come from this show. A lot. Like today, right? Now-ish. But all right, listen. Let me know what you think about Ironheart, man. It's not much I could say, but that's how it was. Like and subscribe if you don't mind. And I'll see you in the next video.